Hi, in this video I will show how the form builder works. So the form builder allows coaches to create forms, add as many questions as they want, and then share the form into the client's app. So you can share the form to an individual client and also to a group. So all the group members will see the form and they can fill it. So you can gather data and also compare and analyze it afterwards. So it's a multi-purpose feature that the coaches can use. So let's click open media library here in the coach account dashboard. So I will show the collection of forms. So you can find it here in the form library section. So you can create new forms via a client account and also via a group. But you have the collection of already created forms here in the media library. So let's click open form library. So I have created two examples. So like a weekly report, background information, feedback questionnaires, so you can use it as you want. So I can show an example. So a weekly report. So first you give the form a name, then you can add like a main picture or a video that's visible above the form. And from the client's point of view, it's like a full width picture. So it's not a thumbnail as you see here from the coach's point of view. Then you can add as many questions as you want. Then you can choose how the client can answer the question. So here's the question and here is how the client can answer it. You can also make these questions as mandatory, so the client has to answer them before they can send you the form. When you have created a form, you can edit the form freely. So for example, you can drag and drop questions to a new place. You can edit the question, you can delete whole questions if you want. So you can browse previously created forms, use them with new clients and groups. So here's an example, and you can see different ways of answering the questions. So here's, for example, progress picture, that the client can add a picture to the question. Here's a text field where the client can write the answer. Here's a multiple selection questions. So let's create a new form. So create new. So let's give it a name, example. Then you can write a description for the form if you want and notes for yourself. And here you can add the main picture or a video that's visible above the form. Then click save. And then we can start adding fields, meaning questions. So let's add a field. For example, age, description if you want. Then you can choose how the client can answer the question. Is it like a text field or a number field? In this case, yes. I will show it in a couple of minutes. Then you can also choose a list. So the client can choose one of these. You can add rows and remove rows, and you can allow multiple selection. Then you can use this, like yes and no questions, mood. So the client can see like a sad face, normal face, and a happy emoji face, date, or a file. For example, progress pictures. But in this case, age. So let's choose the first one and number. So now the client has a number field that they can write the age. I can make it required to fill in, and I can also save this question as a template so I can reuse it from in future forms. So let's click save. And now we have one question in the form. So then we can add another one. Goal. So what's the goal of the client's workouts? Description again if needed. Text. Let's add multiple so the client can add more text if they want. Mood. Let's choose this so the client can choose how they felt about the workout, for example. So you can add as many questions as you want, and then you can drag and drop them to a new order like this. And after saving, you can see it here as a template, and then you can assign this form to a client or a group. And if you want, you can share this form with your colleagues. So by default, the form is only visible in your account. But if you click this, now it's shared to your colleagues' media library. So they can use this form as a template with their own clients and groups. So I'm going to show how it looks from the coach's point of view when I click open a client account. So Amanda, So this is an example client. So you can see the basic features up here. So here you can see forms. So let's click open forms. And here you can see all the forms that has been assigned to this client. You can see if it already filled in or not. Down here you can see 2 forms that have already been filled in. So you can search them. You can click these open. So you can browse the content. You can see the answers the client has filled in. And then you can of course also compare. So if I click this, then I can choose the forms I want to compare, and you can choose more than 2, but there's only 2 filled in, so it's only showing 2 now. So let's choose these 2, and then you can compare the results side by side. So it's nice, for example, in progress pictures, so you can see how the client is progressing. And the client has the same feature available in the client app. So the client fills in the form. It's like a pop-up window that opens in the app, so they can fill in the form in the app itself. And after they have filled in the form, they have a folder in the app itself where they can see previously filled in forms, and they can of course also compare forms. So the client can see, in this example, the progress pictures. So it works the same way for the coach and for the client. And let's click this closed. So if I would like to add a form to Amanda, I can add a new one. So I can create a new one from scratch, or I can, for example, add this example we just created. So you can preview it before you can add it to the client. So after you have added one of these to the client, they have it in the app on the home page, where they will see that they have a form to fill in. So this way you can add forms manually, but you can also automate it. So if you go to the client's timeline, so then you can assign form to a certain day. So for example, you could add a form to every Friday. So the timeline automatically shares the form to the client's app every Friday. So if you click the plus button on the timeline, here is form, and it works with the same logic. Add form, you can use one of the templates, so you can choose one of these for that day, so the client has to fill in, or you can create a new one, and then it's visible in the timeline. So after you have added a form into a timeline, it's shared to the client's app with push notifications if you want. So here's an example, like a weekly report. So this is sent at 10 in the morning on Thursday to the client. So you can manually activate these forms, and you can also add them to a timeline, so then it's automated. So the system shares the forms automatically. And then I can show how it works with groups. So the same logic applies here. So when you have a group that has the group members, so when you're going to add a form to a group, all the group members will see it, and they can fill in the form and send it back to you. So here is this group's forms. So you can see all the forms that has been assigned. You can see how many have answered the questions, the forms. And then you can compare, as I showed you, from the client's point of view. So it works with the same logic. You just have more people answering the form at the same time. And in groups, this is allowed. So you can allow the clients to answer without their name. So that helps if you want honest feedback. It's wise to add this. So the client sees in the form that they answer without their name. So they will give you more honest feedback then. And the same logic regarding sharing the file forms is that you can manually add forms to the clients of this group, or you can add it to the group's timeline. So again, if you want to time it, so it's automatically shared, for example, every week, it's better to do it here in the timeline. So then it's automated. Then you don't have to manually go each week to this group and share it manually. But that's about it. It's a good feature. You will gather much data, and you can analyze and compare with individual clients and with groups. Okay, thanks for watching, and see you again. Bye.